Hello, good evening. Thank you so much for choosing UBC as we inspire you, coming to you live from Nile Avenue Broadcast House. My name is Sandra. News tonight it is. For now, let's take a look at the headlines. Minister for Education Janet Museveni advises youths to be respectful. Mohozi opens Sekafa Women's Championship at Kachindu in Jinja. Mitiana demands for a Better Matters shrine. And allied health professionals to continue their strike as nurses bar out. Thank you once again for choosing UBC to inspire you. Now, a look at the stories in detail. The First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has urged young people not to lose sight of the foundational values of honoring fathers, mothers and elders in their midst, who she said have a wealth of experience that no technology advancement can bring. The hybrid youth convention involving both physical and online participation ran under the theme Our Future, Our Values, Navigating Through the Shifting Moral Culture.
The First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has encouraged the youth to make the right choices so that whatever they become stands a taste of time.
The question is not whether we are old or young, but whether we are applying the wisdom of God to our lives. It is only the wisdom of God that is a defense against the problems of our times.
This was at a hybrid youth convention under the theme Our Future, Our Values, Navigating Through the Shifting Moral Culture.
In the great story of our times, the fundamental question of life remains the same. It is only the characters and a few props that change. So you may think that the internet and social media is a new thing. But at its root, the issues that drive it are the same. Our need as human beings to be recognized, validated, and loved. We all want to be liked. These are age-old questions and needs that have always existed.
It was organized by the Uganda Youth Forum in partnership with the Uganda Christian Lawyers Fraternity with support from the Office of the First Lady. Janet Museveni is also founder and patron of Uganda Youth Forum.
As we talk about our future, our values, navigating through the shifting moral culture, how I pray that you, my young friends, will not lose sight of these foundational values of honoring fathers and mothers, honoring elders in our midst. Elders have lived life and have a wealth of experience that no technology advancement can bring.
She encouraged the youth to make this important choice in their lives.
Elders who know what was working or what has worked in the past. That is why we are reintroducing the ABC strategy for our young people so that they will know how to protect themselves from premarital sex and HIV and AIDS, and to also remind the parents about the values of being faithful in marriage as they provide those examples to the young generation.
Citing examples of characters and heroes in the Bible, Mrs. Museveni told the youth to keep walking in the footsteps of Jesus and never to give up no matter what circumstances they face. Justice Mike Chibita, the patron of Uganda Christian Lawyers Fraternity, said this is an association of Christian legal professionals which started in 1987 as a fellowship for Christian law students but has now grown to over 500 members.
And the reason for the starting of this fellowship was because it seems so long ago when Marxism was still in operation as one of the schools of thought. There was a tendency to say that you either a lawyer or a Christian, that you cannot be both. And a number of us were convinced that we were called to be lawyers. The issue of Christianity was not even debatable. So we decided that in order to stand together and resist this onslaught, we had to start this fellowship as a way of strengthening each other.
The board chairperson of Uganda Youth Forum, Dr. James Magara, said that the convention's theme is timely in our changing and challenging world. He said that while the environment changes, the values have to remain the same.
The youth, the families, the organizations that will survive the turbulence ahead are those with both the right moral values and those who can anchor in hope.
The founder and team leader of Rema Women's Space, Beat Bisangwa, urged the youth to be authentic because they were made for a particular purpose.
You are the hope of a brighter Uganda. You're the hope of a better Africa. And so any efforts to invest in you are worthwhile.
While sharing testimony about high employment journey, Honorable Lady Justice Monica Karegira Mujenyi, Justice of the Court of Appeal, advised the youth to always seek God to guide them in everything they do.
What do I get from this? It's important to know the call of God on your life. As young people, the earlier you know God's purposes, your destiny in terms of God's scheme of things, the smoother your life shall be.
A youth leader, Hasimu Ronald, shared his experience of growing up on the streets, doing drugs and peer pressure before he realized his purpose, and urged the young people to change their lifestyles and get mentors to guide them on their journey.
I appeal to you to get right mentors who will guide us to make right decisions or choices in our lives. I urge you to love and protect your country. Embrace your country's art, culture, and values.
The convention was attended, among others, by young people from various walks of life, where over 3,000 of them participated online and live streaming centers in a number of schools.
In most state activities, President Yoweri Museveni has hailed the church for its complementary role in the national development. This was contained in a message delivered for him by the Special Presidential Envoy, Right Honorable Hakana Rugunda, during the consecration and enthronement of Right Reverend Gadia Kanjuna as the 6th Bishop of Kigezi Diocese.
At exactly 9 a.m., a section of clergy accompanied the bishop-elect in a procession to Kigezi High School primary playground. Part of the procession was the Archbishop Church of Uganda, Right Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu. God has given us a beautiful... They were received amidst praises and chants by the congregation. The consecration event was preceded by an hour service, with the choir making the day colorful. Later, the bishop-elect, Reverend Canon Gadi Kajuna, was initiated and committed for the service ahead of him.
Most Reverend Father in God, we present this godly and well-learned man, Gadi Akanjuna, to be consecrated to the office of bishop in the Church of God.
Will you deny all ungodliness and worldly lusts and live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world?
I will do so by the help of God.
He was then let off for roping before returning and taken through the enthronement process.
I, Gadi Akanjuna, do hereby promise to respect, maintain, and defend the rights, privileges and liberties of this church and diocese.
The outgoing bishop, flanked by his wife, addressed the congregation.
And I thank each and every one of you. Thank you so much. I will continue to pray for you.
He couldn't forget thanking those who have stood with him along the journey.
I must appreciate Mama Chris for walking this journey with me. She has supported me emotionally, physically, and spiritually.
The enthroned bishop was equally happy and ready for the task.
Household and community transformation. Ebyentunguka yamaka. Emibereho y'abantu bitu kandi n'entasya yabo ni kimwe omu bintu ebituri kuteekateeka okutaho mwete omu buheereza bwaitu. Amaka mengi omu kicweka ky'eiteeki gaine oburemeezi ahabwa empinduka y'obwire n'oburemeezi obwareesirwe endwara ya COVID-19.
The event was graced by Most Reverend Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugaru, the Archbishop Church of Uganda.
I want to charge all God's people to please support and encourage Bishop God and Mama Charity Akanjuna so that the work of revival and development in the diocese may continue.
In attendance were ministers Dr. Chris Waryomusi, David Bahati, Ruth Nankabirwa, retired Major General Jim Muhwezi, Henry Musasizi, among others.
Grace for blessing this occasion and the representative of the president. As you can see, the whole Christian community here in Kigezi are very happy.
Because the government works closely with the church, and therefore we share the joy and excitement with the people of Kigezi Diocese as we receive the new bishop.
Former Premier Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda was the chief guest. Rugunda was representing His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
I commend the Church of Uganda for the good relationship it has with the NRM leadership. The church is also appreciated for partnering with the government in leading the flock beyond the pulpit through church-initiated services.
The bishop was then handed a brand new Toyota car as a gift from the President of Uganda.
National anthem, one stanza, then a group photograph, the guest of honor together with the Archbishop and the new bishop.
To our new bishop.
Following his enthronement this Sunday here in Kabale district, Right Reverend Kanoni Gadi Akajuna now makes it the 6th bishop of this great diocese of Kabale. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
The Commander Land Forces, Lieutenant General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, has officially opened the Sekafa Women's Championship 2022. The games that will see 8 countries compete will start on Wednesday, 1st of June at Fufa Technical Center, Njeru in Jinja. During the opening, the chief guest, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, pledged government support towards sports.
The regional game for Eastern Central Africa will see 8 countries compete, including the host Uganda, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Djibouti, South Sudan, Burundi, Tanzania and Rwanda. The games will start on Wednesday, 1st June till the 11th of the same month at Fufa Technical Center, Njeru in Jinja. Muhoozi Kainerugaba welcomed the visiting teams and urged them to feel at home and share the African brotherhood.
Sekafa Women's Challenge Cup 2022. I'm glad that the organizers have chosen Uganda and specifically Jinja to host this tournament. Busoga is well known as the home of many of our great sportsmen and sportswomen.
General Muhoozi, in his address, says the government will continue with its commitment of supporting sports in the country.
I mention all this because I want the young people to know is that you can use your talent and become a very successful person.
Ensonga eri nti ekitono ekyo osobola okukikozesa kyakufuula ensonga mu iwanga lyona lyona ba mu nsi yona yona.
The government will continue to offer a supporting environment for all talented people, whatever their talents are.
The host team Uganda will open the games with a Burundian team. During the opening, thousands of Ugandans across the country thronged Kakindu Stadium in Jinja to witness the grand opening with a mega party. Ministers and politicians in Busoga sang praises of the Commander Land Forces.
Yeah, I would love to thank the people of Jinja for the overwhelming love they have shown us. It's been real, very massive, and we're looking forward to bringing this to every community in Uganda as we bring people together, promoting sports.
Performances by top artists in the country entertained the revelers, including Bebeku and the comedian Museveni lookalike Tichampamire. Sharon Chomjisha, Philip Aguta, UBC News.
In more news, Christians have been urged to stand by their faith by sticking to the truth to overcome tribulations and trials faced by the modern church. This was highlighted in the Sunday sermon, which ushers in Martyrs' Day at the Catholic Church in Namgongo.
Christians have been asked to follow footsteps of Uganda Martyrs through committing their faith in God.
When you see pilgrims trekking from Busia up to Namgongo, some Sunday pilgrims say, what does that tell you? That is a expression of faith. They cannot do it except they are moved by faith, by our life and actions. Unless teachers become witnesses, those who show by their life, it's difficult to convince our God this day. So the most preaching we have is our lives, our actions.
Catholicism is about intercession and faithfully worshipping God, which most pilgrims lean on.
See how much people have faith in the Uganda Martyrs and the Catholic Church as a whole. It makes you feel closer to Christ. It makes you feel closer to your faith and your belief. It gives you a lot of strength. It gives you direction.
According to pilgrims, the zeal to walk miles to the Namgongo Shrine is attributed to the love of God, conducive environment, and the heightened security the government has offered over the years.
What the other churches do along the road, they have provided them with where to sleep, medication, and they have really facilitated on this as Christians walk all those long distances. Then for the side of government, I would like to appreciate for the support in terms of providing enough security for them as they travel all the long distances from where they are. If the security was not guaranteed, that means they would be meeting robbers on the way, those attacking them. But we haven't had any of those instances, and we pray that will not happen until they make it here to Namugongo.
Uganda Martyrs fell for their faith between 1885 and 1887 when they were killed on the orders of Kabaka Mwanga. This year's Martyrs' Day is expected to deliver an attendance that ranges from 500,000 to 1 million pilgrims from Uganda and the neighboring countries. Joshua Kagoro, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Joshua Kagoro, for that particular update. Now, in more news, June 3rd is an annual event for the commemoration of Uganda Martyrs. Scores of believers trekked to Namugongo Martyrs Shrine, where a majority of these martyrs were killed. Both the Catholic and Protestant shrines were a few years given a touch and are indeed of a befitting standard.
This is Chinda Mityana Cathedral. A number of martyrs, including Noah Mawagali, Matiya Mulumba, Ambrosio Chibuka, and Lukabana Vachintu, were born in this diocese. This cathedral church has 3 pillars, each representing a martyr born in the diocese: Noah Mawagali, Lukabana Vachintu, and Ambrosio Chibuka. The church is built on the spot where Noah Mawagali was killed. There is a component inside the church with a piece of wood where his body was hanged.
Encourage you before Namugongo. Just know that these martyrs who were murdered at Namugongo, they had places where they were born. So I would like to encourage all Christians to always visit those places, for instance, where they were born, where they were murdered. For instance, in this diocese of Chinda Mityana, Noah Mawagali was born at Nkazebuku. Those of you who can go to Nkazebuku and pray, that would be good.
The ancestral home for a number of martyrs being Mityana. Parishioners here want a martyr's shrine equivalent to a basilica established in the diocese. Some of the ancestral homes of the martyrs in Chinda Mityana diocese include Nkazebuku village in Misiji parish in Busuju, the ancestral home of Noah Mawagali. The parish priest of Misiji, Reverend Father Achirewo Chiwanuka, says there is much more needed for improving martyrs' ancestral homes as it was done at Namugongo.
Twagalira ddala n'okugamba nsenga kibadde kisoboka kyabadde kifo ekiramagibwamu nga bwe tulaba Namugongo, kubanga Namugongo abajulizi gye battirwa naye baaliko gye baasookera okuva bazadde baabwe, ate ebifo bino tugezezza kati okugira nga tubizuula.
Ambrosio Chibuka was born in Tamu village in Mityana municipality, and the grave of this Uganda martyr is at this village where Chisule, his father, is interred. On the grave of Chibuka's father, there is a horizontal crucifix, meaning that he was not baptized. In the same village of Tamu, there is a church, school, and a Muvule tricon named Mujaguzo in Buganda Kingdom, and according to the communities, it's more than 100 years.
Wewa kubirwe ngoma ya Mujaguzo we batema Mujaguzo wano era wayitibwa Mujaguzo.
Bagadde nnyo okutema, bagadde okutema naye ekyavaamu kale yali kabuula.
We also visited the ancestral home of Matiya Mulumba at Butega in Chinda Mityana diocese. Matiya Mulumba was a Musoga born in Bunya before he left for Mityana and settled at Butega and was later murdered. On 30th May 1886, the day pilgrims converged to celebrate the life of this martyr.
Living at Butega, just near Mityana here, you can always go to such a place, visit it, pray, and then on your way to Namugongo, visit such places and pray from there. Even here where Noah Mawagali was murdered at Chinda itself.
Uganda Martyrs are a group of 23 Anglican and 22 Catholic converts to Christianity who were executed between 31st January 1885 and 27th January 1887 on orders of Mwanga II, the then Kabaka of Buganda, Sudat Kaye. Fred Kasiwante, UBC News.
Ankole Diocese Bishop, the Right Reverend Dr. Fred Sheldon Mwesigwa, has officiated a youth convention ahead of 3rd June Martyrs' Day celebrations. 2 pilgrim groups from Ankole region finally arrive at Namugongo Anglican Martyrs' Shrine.
2 batches of Anglican pilgrims who started trekking their way from Ankole on 19th and 21st May to Namugongo to commemorate Martyrs' Day celebrations finally arrive at the Anglican Martyrs' Shrine. A 30-80 entry of pilgrims from South Ankole Diocese, led by Reverend Ambrose Amanya, shared the long journey's experiences since they set off from Ankole.
We are following the matter, how they did their work, the way how they persevered. Actually, we want to be like them.
Mukama munonga ahabwo rugendo runtire zanazimbe bijere babinyiga nambwe nobundi aha kimweri izoba cyagarikirwa bakikoma konka nimpuranye namani kwihanatandika kureba Namugongo nahikana nimpura ninsima mukama
ndugwa katano ndaramaga kandi emyaka yanje nyine emyaka nkaga na mushanju eyine uzarwa nasimoranga namwe baza turamagire twaranze birungi
for COVID. And we didn't make it. This way, this time around, it came and I said I have to fulfill my covenant with God.
The tiresomely looking but smiling in faith pilgrims were received by the Bishop of Ankole, the Right Reverend Dr. Fred Sheldon Mwesigwa, who earlier preached to the youths about spiritual doctrines. The 30 pilgrims were joined by another group of foot pilgrims from Ankole Diocese, led by the Diocese Coordinator Mission and Outreach, Reverend Canon Newton Baraija, who cited the indiscipline of some road users as one of the challenges they faced along the way.
The borders and these people, big traders, they seem not to know that, there are some people who are existing. They just, if you're not, careful, they may just, run over you.
While speaking to the youths, Right Reverend Dr. Fred Sheldon Mwesigwa asked them to refrain from drug abuse.
People died for their faith. They were ready to offer their lives for the sake of Christ because they had discovered something eternal. So we have been told a wrong story. That's why we are trying to engage with the young people that they come, because many of them have been pulled. If young people can be positive, they will manage the pressures that are surrounding them. Pressures of alcohol, pressures of misuse of sexuality, pressures of drugs.
The Assistant Vicar Namugongo Anglican Matters Shrine, Reverend Esau Bosa Chimanje, asked youths to have a positive mindset for the good of their future.
Our attitude is supposed to be changed right away before you go away from here. You see things, the way you reason, the way you work.
Church of Uganda's programs ahead of the main 3rd June celebrations also includes the Men's and Women's Conference set for Tuesday and an overnight on 2nd June. Amwai Vanjuko, reporting for UBC News.
Are telling us that we are
Allied health professionals have threatened to continue with their industrial action despite government's order to return on duty. The President of Allied Health Professionals, Patrick Elonget, alleges that government engagement has been discriminatory. This is in spite of Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union calling off their industrial action.
Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union have called off the industrial action and will begin work this Monday. However, allied health professionals have vowed to continue with their industrial action and termed government's directive of returning back to work as mere intimidation.
It's clearly showing that it is discriminatory. It's like in a family, you create that environment where a group of children feel they are not, regarded or valued. So you talk with only the others, and that is the situation. We cannot say that the nurses' engagement showed, selfish, aspects, because we called for these industrial actions differently. They started theirs 26th of this month. Ours started much earlier, on 16th. However, the concern that even the public should see or consider is why would government or government leaders only call the nurses?
Patrick Elonget says their services are not appreciated enough.
The aspect of prejudice and discrimination, and this is where we are coming to say enough is enough. If you don't want us to work, then we all stay away. And we heard from the Prime Minister emphasizing they will employ other people. Which people will you employ? It is still the allied health professionals. We are the ones who constitute the labor force in this country. If you look at the health sector, over 70% of health workers are allied health professionals.
He says allied health professionals are not supportive services, but part of the systems of health.
We feel this is a high level of, suppression and discrimination in the health sector.
Allied health professionals have engaged a legal team to ensure that their issues are handled.
For someone who works in the public service, there's a very elaborate procedure in which you take before you declare that someone has absconded from duty. It's not by a statement in the press. We want to say that statement is illegal and is of no effect and does not amount to a statement that the law envisages that can remove someone from duty.
And it's actually an offense for government to interfere with the different activities because, as you see, this is an association that collects different unions under it, and government is not supposed to interfere with the activities that are being carried out by the different unions under this association.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
As the country prepares to celebrate the Heroes' Day due on 9th June, veterans have been encouraged to continue forming circles and cooperative societies enable access government support. This was revealed during the memorial service of over 100 veterans led by Chofa Togabye and Kabalega unit during the war in 1980s at the function held at Naluvule, Kapeka in Nakaseke.
As the country prepares to mark Heroes' Day on 9th June, veterans have been reassured that government is committed to supporting them through circles and cooperative societies. Presidential Advisor on Defense and Security, General Salim Saleh, was attending the memorial service of the late Chofa Togabye, who participated in the Liberation War. The event was held at Naluvule, Kapeka in Nakaseke district.
Bagambi bategese naye mujja kulaba ate abanaalubukira ate nga si balwanyi kasita balulanze kubanga badizatazibanga nakaseke bali 147 bw'ogatako abeeruweero bali bawera nga 405.
The State Minister for Kampala Metropolitan, Chofa Togabye Kabuye, assured veterans and families of the deceased that government will compensate them.
The civilian veterans, then you have 422 fighters, the ones who are retired fighters. So you discover this is just a small number, but the challenge is their children.
The Nakaseke District Member of Parliament, Sarah Najuma, promised rural triangle communities that their roads, scarcity of water, among other things, would be addressed soon. Adia Nakuti, Salongo Kasivante, UBC.
Moving on, training is a vital factor for every soldier's professional development in the armed forces. Mountain Warfare Training School, Karuguti in Toroko District, under the Mountain Division, has considerately equipped foot soldiers with mountain combat techniques that included maneuvering in harsh terrain conditions.
Mountain Warfare Training School is located in Kalugutu Town Council in Toroko District and is approximately 319 km from Kampala on Bundibujo Road. Major General Kanja Mohanga is the Division Commander, Mountain Division. Colonel John Winston Mugarura, the second in command. Colonel Musoke Kavuma is the commandant of Mountain Warfare Training School, while Colonel Joyce Kalyebara Kabanyoro is the Division Administration Officer. Uganda People's Defense Force, in its wisdom, began a mountain warfare training school to equip soldiers with mountaineous war tactics.
A school, one of its kind, meant to prepare troops, as I've already said, from the normal infantry troops, turning them into mountaineous troops. These troops are prepared to fight or to operate in a mountainous terrain, which is not the case for these other training schools around in UPDF.
Training is a vital part of every soldier and officer's professional development in the army. Mountain warfare training is both physical and mentally demanding.
I had a chance of looking at the demonstration. The equipment we are using is not used anywhere apart from the mountainous terrain, mountainous environment, which assists us in facilitating the maneuverability in the mountains.
The course equips soldiers with tactical and technical training for mountain warfare operations.
On our rear, we have 3rd Mountain Battalion in Kanyasi. And this is where the enemy is located, sir. And we have a force coming from 2nd Mountain Battalion to come and attack the objective.
It also enables soldiers to operate successfully using proven techniques derived from lessons learned in drills.
Well, the course unit does not differ mainly from these other schools, but what we include the technical part of it. That's why we call this course a mountain warfare technical course, because we include some technical aspects in the fighting in the mountains. That's why I'm talking about the equipment and the facilities we are using in the fighting in the mountainous environment.
The trainees exhibit a combination of mountain-specific skills and angle marksmanship fundamentals. The course consists of knot tying, rope management, rappelling, fixed rope techniques, basic mountain casualty evacuations, and portable stretcher training. Other techniques involves maneuvering in thick forests, valleys, escarpments, and river crossing while advancing to the enemy position. Mountain Warfare Training School Karugutu's goal is to improve mobility in mountainous terrain. UPDF has more than 10 training schools aimed at instructing soldiers with the required technical skills in combat operations and safeguarding the country. Haruna Mtesasira reporting for UBC News in Karugutu, Ntoroko District.
In more updates for the day, Lampere Glasses and Eye Care Center is now expanding to more areas across the country to bring eye care services nearer to the people. Another branch has been opened up in Kabalagala, Kampala city suburb, and the aim is to have more access to eye care services without having to move long distances.
As the population grows, there is need to increase availability of health services, including eye care, necessitating health service providers to initiate ways to reach out to more people. Statistics from the Ministry of Health show that an estimated 1.2 million people in Uganda are visually impaired, while 250 are totally blind. Lampere Glasses and Eye Care Center is now expanding to more areas across the country and has now opened a new branch in Kabalagala, a Kampala city suburb.
We're focusing on urban areas. It's because the World Health Organization estimates that people tend to have a lot of eye defects when they live in urban areas. 70% of visual impairments in Uganda are from people who live in urban areas.
Lampere Glasses has also initiated nationwide eye care campaigns to educate the population about reflective errors and eye defects.
Now, schools are being advised to revise their leadership structures to include procurement committees in order to enable transparent processes in infrastructure establishment. The Executive Director, Public Procurement and Disposal of Assets Authority, Benson Turamye, says a feeling of procurement leadership gaps will minimize wastage of both resources and time. He said this during the inspection of completed and ongoing construction projects at Intare School in Mbarara, where he commended the management for the great progress.
It is a precedence well set by Intare School in the Western District of Mbarara. Some projects are ongoing, while the school science laboratory is complete. Hardly anyone can hide their excitement, including students. This excitement and milestone is as a result of properly followed procurement procedures. It was successful due to the presence and guidance given by the school's procurement officer.
You get meetings, you meet with the contractor, you agree to disagree, you look at the timelines, but the most important and the catchphrase is transparency.
It is such similar transparency that is being employed in the setting up of this school dormitory, whose works currently stand at 55%.
The site is well managed, the contractor is compliant and cooperative. All the best practices of contract managing are being adhered to.
The school, however, nearly fell short of its target to have full establishment of this pavilion. They were let down by the contractor, whose agreement was later successfully terminated.
The mention of this company in Intare sends jacks in our spines, in our intestines. I cannot describe you. But the good thing, when you look at the communications we make between him, to the point of even forging a letter using a headed paper from Intare School and writing to the bank, It was disastrous.
For purposes of transparency, such shortcomings and successes call for schools across the country to employ procurement officers.
I think we have some graduates, many graduates in procurement who have not secured jobs. They can negotiate on the terms of payment and the pay, but I encourage all entities, government entities, to recruit procurement officers.
Also in terms of the structure, actually, the school structures, like you have a bursar, a school must have a bursar, a school must have a headmaster. So within the structures of the schools, it should be enforced that the procurement units are established and then staffed.
The tour of Ntare School by PPDA was led by the authority's board chairperson, Julius Karikona. He lauded management for successful infrastructure establishment.
And this is in line with what Idi was saying, with our vision and mission. Dynamic facilitator for sustainable national development.
Ntare School is home to 2,200 students, 93 teaching staff, 32 non-teaching staff, 35 group employees, and 60 kitchen staff. Such population makes establishment of these infrastructures more than necessary. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Atekere Professional Initiative for Development, APID, has vowed to increase its vigilance that aims at wiping poverty, ill health and lack of education out of Teso and Karamoja areas. The professionals within this non-government organization that started as a WhatsApp group but has now grown to 253 members will be at the fore, especially in job creation.
We, the professionals, have come together to help with initiating development projects in our area. We want to mobilize the professionals to give back to their communities. We believe that the professionals can create jobs or create businesses that can also employ other members of our communities. But most of all, we want to use this ability of ours to source for funding to support especially education, health. We also have other community projects that involve developing agriculture in our area. You know, our area is so much weather dependent, so we need things like irrigation facilities and improve on our farming methods. So these are the things that we have come together as professionals to try to put together so that we can get our Atekere out of poverty and give them a good life. We want to create a healthy, prosperous and active population that is involved in the activities of this nation.
APID started as a WhatsApp group and now we are moving into an NGO. We want to see how we can reach to our people. We talk to the community about poverty eradication, women emancipation and domestic violence. In this regard, we would like to engage closely with the women, sensitize them and make them feel that they are the cream in the community. They shouldn't be left out.
Returning shortly with business updates. Please do stay with us.
Have waka, you bust the eyes through me about my waka. Now come and see for yourself, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo. Jangola be waka, look at you waka, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo.
Show them waka with MTN Momo Nyabo. Simply
Deposit 20K or more on your mobile money for a chance to win 3 Toyota Succeeds and money to 2,000 lucky winners every week. We're giving away 24 cars and over 2 billion shillings of mobile money.
Affordable packages, great entertainment, sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies. There is something for everybody. Go TV, this is where great stories live.
Get the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Ugandan shillings per month. GoTV, great stories, Zidiwano. GoTV Uganda, love it.
Fun is our flavor. When we're together, the vibe is pretty alright. Our taste is fruity awesome. We are Uganda's #1 fruity refreshment. Enjoy Mirinda Fruity, Uganda's #1 fruity refreshment.
Leaders who care create a good learning environment.
Because a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
Even with my grandson, a doctor at my side, I struggled to get the help I needed. But he saw something that day. He began to work day and night. He wouldn't quit, even when people said no. He wouldn't stop fighting. He knew something had to change, and his vision was bigger than anyone could imagine. He made it possible to receive quality medical services anywhere in Uganda by simply using a phone.
This is a story of a regular Ugandan just like you, who harnessed the power of technology to provide a solution for us. How about you tell us your story? UG needs more of you. To share your story, visit airtel.co.ug/UG needs more of you or call or SMS 162. Airtel, the smartphone network.
UBC inspiring Uganda. We are live. It is News Tonight, coming to you live from Broadcast House, Nile Avenue. Now on to our business updates for the day. Government, through the Ministry of Transport and Works, is in the final stages of drafting a national road safety action plan geared at reducing road accidents by at least 50% by the year 2030. This was revealed in a message delivered by the Director of Transport in the ministry, Benon Kajuma, on behalf of General Katumba Wamala during the climax of the Silver Jubilee celebrations for the Uganda Road Accidents Reduction Network held at Hotel Africana here in Kampala.
Reducing road accidents on Ugandan roads calls for a joint action between government, civil society, private sector and the general public. Government is set to come up with a national road safety action plan geared at reducing road accidents by at least 50% by the year 2030. The new plan will be premised on 3 areas of road engineering standards, education and awareness, and enhancing the general enforcement of the laws related to traffic and road safety. The Director of Transport in the Ministry of Works and Transport, Benon Kajuma, was representing General Katumba Wamala during the climax of the Silver Jubilee celebrations for the Uganda Road Accidents Reduction Network Organization in Kampala.
And this road safety plan has short-term measures, medium-term measures, and long-term measures. But one of the critical areas is to ensure that we have sensitization of the people who are actually using the roads, and mainly we emphasize the 3 E's. We emphasize engineering must be compliant with road safety standards.
The Executive Director, Uganda Road Accidents Reduction Organization, Fred Tumwine Nkuruho, called for more government intervention in supporting civil society organizations dealing with road safety.
For example,
in road safety within the ministry, we want enough staff. Those who carry out research, those who carry out monitoring and evaluation, those who carry out trainings, those who carry out activities which promote. But now the government doesn't have enough staff to do this. In addition, it doesn't have enough funds to carry out those activities need funds.
Some of the activities in the week preceding the climax included the road safety sensitization for border boarders, bus, taxi drivers and school-going children. Adia Nakuti and Collins Juko, UBC.
Be alert. Do not share your Airtel Money PIN number with anyone. Airtel Uganda employees will never ask for your Airtel Money PIN number on call, SMS, or by email. All SIM card registrations, SIM card verifications, or SIM swaps are done at clearly branded Airtel shops and not on phone. To report any fraudulent activity, please call 100 immediately. The official calling number for Airtel promotions is 0200 100 100. Stay alert on Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Affordable packages, great entertainment, sports, local content, telenovela, the movies. There is something for everybody. Go TV, this is where great stories live.
Get the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Uganda shillings per month. GoTV, great stories, Zidiwano. GoTV Uganda, love it.
Jennifer, Jukila, Wewagamba, I don't have waka. You pass the ice through me about my waka. Now come and see for yourself, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo. Jambola be waka, look at you waka, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo.
Show them waka with MTN Momo Nyabo. Simply deposit 20K or more on your mobile money for a chance to win 3 Toyota Succeeds and money to 2,000 lucky winners every week. We're giving away 24 cars and over 2 billion shillings of mobile money.
We bring you a fresh, well-researched program to help you identify opportunities for investment, job creation, growing your entrepreneurial skills, wealth creation, and social transformation. Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Every week we showcase opportunities for creating new products and services. Excellence in innovation, the passion and drive to succeed, and the right mindset to grow your business. Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Brought to you by Operation Wealth Creation.
The Kabaka Birthday Run 2022 is back on Sunday, 3rd July 2022 at Lubiri Mengo. This year, the run will be physical and will be flagged off by Sabasaja Kabaka at 7 a.m. Come out in large numbers once again to Lubiri Mengo. Run for a cause to fight and end HIV by 2030. Buy your ticket today at 15,000 Uganda shillings from Airtel shops at Tobani Center, New Taxi Park, ShopRite Building, Benchwanka Street, Majestic Brands Office at Bulange Mengo. You can also buy your ticket using Airtel Money. Dial *185 *5 hash. Select Payments, select Kabaka Run, and follow the prompts to complete the payment. Kabaka Birthday Run 2022 is brought to you by UNAID, CBS, BBS, and Airtel, the smartphone network.
Glad you're still watching, and it is a sports. Uganda Table Tennis Association has selected its 4 players that will represent at the upcoming Commonwealth Games. Now, the Commonwealth Games are due in July, with Uganda to field about 100 athletes, including 4 female table tennis players.
After a grueling selection process, Uganda Table Tennis Association has zeroed on its top 4 players that will represent Uganda at the Commonwealth Games in July. The top 4, all female, are Sarah Florence, Rita Nakumitsa, and teenagers Pavin Nangonzi and Jamima Nakawala. They were chosen after final round robin at the MTN Arena Logogo that featured 10 players.
Yes, actually it's a much improved quality because you can see they have short services, they have accurate attacks, they have good blocking systems, so their quality is better. But what we need now is to say, now that you have all these things, can we enter training camp, whether residential or non-residential, and we polish you further for Birmingham. We believe, because right now we are ranked number 13 in the Commonwealth Games, we believe strongly we can go higher.
Others that took part in the final selection exercise were Halima Astolo, Regina Nakibule, Irene Nekesa, Namala Shamita, Flavia Amania, and Amina Nampera. John Barnes Sentamo reporting.
That's all we had time for now for this particular newscast. Before I let you go, just a look at the headlines again. Minister for Education, Janet Museveni, advises youths to be respectful. Mohozi opens the Kafa Women's Championship at Kachindu in Jinja. Mitiana demands for a Better Matters shrine. And allied health professionals to continue their strike as nurses bow out. So proud of you for staying with us right from the start of this particular newscast. We've been coming to you live from Nile Avenue Broadcast House. I had a wonderful time with you. Thank you for spending time with us this particular weekend and taking time off to join the national broadcaster. UBC has been inspired you this particular day, the 29th day of May 2022. My name is Sandra Kahunde, and from the entire team behind the scene, wish you a beautiful night. God bless you and have a blessed week ahead.
Welcome to the latest weather updates from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. I'm Juliet Nanteza. Some parts of the country had rain, and according to our rainfall data, it shows that Kasese had 45, Masindi 43.8, Toro 29.7, and then Gulu had 17.3 millimeters. This is due to the rain-bearing clouds that are covering most parts of our country, and then the local effect from Lake Victoria. As you're setting off for the day, in the morning we expect to have sunny intervals in most parts of the country, apart from some few areas around the lake and then the highlands where we expect light showers. Later on in the evening, most parts of the country are expected to be with thunder showers. Temperatures are expected to rise to 28 in the northern parts of our country, and then the Karamoja region, Kasese at 29, and then the Lake Victoria Basin at 27, Kabale Highlands at a maximum of 24. Elsewhere, Nairobi, we expect sunny conditions at a maximum of 24. London, light showers at a maximum of 15, and then Dubai at a maximum of 36 with bright and sunny conditions. That's all we had for you from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. Don't forget to plant a tree to save the environment. Have a blessed week ahead.